Welcome to the November webinar. I'm Dan Brown. I'm the Senior Service Consultant of MGE, but I'm also the co-owner and Chief Operating Officer of Blumberg Digital. We're going to be talking about some key strategies. Of course, we've got the holiday season upon us. It is here. It is heavy. It is now. We also have some change in the economy that we're going to be talking about. And then we're going to talk about marketing broadly. Marketing broadly, not just with regards to digital marketing. We're going to talk about the subject of marketing, public relations, publicity, advertising. What's the difference between all this stuff? These can be confusing. If you are in a dental office and you are marketing, well, what does that mean compared to PR, compared to advertising, compared to publicity, compared to sales? And how does that all tie in? We're going to talk about this. The more you know and understand your job, your role in marketing, the more power you have. Hatting equals control. Hatting is training. Hatting equals control. And control equals, anybody? Put it in the chat. Control equals. I got my chat window open here.
Money.
Okay, control equals income. And of course, that's money. How many of you want bigger bonuses? Raise your hands. Bigger bonuses. Good. How many of you would like pay raises? Okay, good. Having worked with so many MGE clients and dentists over the years, I could tell you this. They're more than happy to write big bonus checks, pay increases. They're more than happy to take you on trips and the entire team and go have fun and celebrate wins and successes and goal achievement. They're more than happy to do that. They just need it. They just need it first. And in order to get that, well, you have to have production. Production brings about collections. In order to have production, you got to have patience. In order to have patience, you got to have marketing. This cycle, the more you know about that cycle and what are the pitfalls along that route, well, that means you can now fix those pitfalls, patch those holes, make that a smooth flow, and bring about a smooth flow of patients finding out about you, reaching out to you, getting them scheduled, getting them in. Then, of course, training at MGE takes over. That's your ABC communication and sales seminars on presentation and increased acceptance. And then moving in through the sales line, that's your MGE professional sales courses and the training on that to get them accepting treatment. And then, of course, organizing your office so that it moves through the organization smoothly and you can increase your overall production and collections. So we're on the front end of that. Blumberg Digital is on the front end of that. And I can see we got a bunch of people joining. Love that you're joining. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to know what you would like to know more about. So we're right here at the tail end of the year. I want to know, put it in the chat. I want to know, what would you like me to talk about? This is, I've got a presentation scheduled for you and I can roll with that. But I would very much like to know specifically what help you need. We're at the end of the year and then we got 2025 right around the corner here. That's coming up and boy, you got to have your planning in place for that. So I'm going to check the chat here. Okay, good. What's coming in best practices for 2025? Love that. Dimitri, glad that you're here. There's a lot to talk about for 2025. We have some good news, and then we have some interesting and, well, I'm not going to say bad news, but challenges. We have some challenges. The challenges are that whenever you have economy improving, which it now appears to be, if anybody's watching the stock market, economy is improving, boy, you need to make sure that you understand that is going to free up money, not just with you, but with everybody. And that includes other dental offices. So that makes the marketing landscape busier. Whenever there's more money or the indication that there's going to be more money, people feel a little bit more free to spend. That's good news because that's how our economy works. The more people who actually are being consumers that they're spending, the more you're going to make, the more they're going to make. It all works out. This is the great part about the economy we have. But it also means your competitors are going to be more present and they're going to be spending on marketing, on Google, on Facebook, etc. That makes your environment more challenging. Folks, do me a favor, raise your hand if you see a lot of dental offices advertising and a lot of dental offices around you. You feel that there's a lot of choices for patients to make in your area. Yeah. So how do you deal with that? Do you just kind of sit and hope all goes well? No, that never works. Well, you got to increase your marketing budget and marketing efforts. But what does that mean exactly? Well, you got to do so, no doubt, but you got to do so properly. You don't want to waste money. You don't want to waste time marketing. So these are very, very important questions that we're going to take up in part during this webinar. And so that's a great question. What's coming and best practices for 2025, Dimitri? We're going to take that up. Postcard marketing. So postcard marketing, it's one of the channels. I would definitely recommend it. If you're just getting started with marketing, I wouldn't say that's your first channel. If you've got a bunch of marketing channels hitting, time to test it. What does testing mean? Well, try it and then see what happens. Make sure you've got specific tracking in place with whatever postcards you're doing. So always have a tracking number. Make sure the tracking number is a specific number that forwards to your main phone number. And the phone calls you get from that, now you know are coming from that postcard or that direct mail campaign. Try it. If it doesn't work, modify it. If it doesn't work, modify it again. If it doesn't work, modify it again. If you've tried that a number of times and it's not working, you might not be in a direct mail postcard environment. You might be in a very progressive environment, and people are a lot more digital and such. So, but it's a channel. And I know a number of people, even in New York City, that use direct mail. So it does work. Now, you do need all the design principles and marketing principles in the layout to be there. So you can't just do a postcard and hope it works. And it's not well designed. So that is covered in the new patient workshop with MGE. You could do a refresher of that. I'd suggest doing so if you haven't done so in a while. So make sure the design elements are there and then do some testing. Let's see some other questions that came in. What to focus on with marketing and heavily work on. Love that, Dr. Ellis. We're going to take that up. Hey, Dr. Big Guy, good to have you here. Local service ads, should we do it? You should absolutely try it. And what can we re-sign up for the new patient workshop? So if you want to do the new patient workshop again, you got to reach out to your contacts at MGE, and that would be Cody in scheduling. Cody can help you out with that and make sure you get a little refresher. It's a good one to do every now and again because marketing's a changing landscape. So absolutely jump on that. I don't have any other questions in the chat, so let's get on with the presentation here. Okay, as usual, most of you know me. If you don't know me, I'm Dan Brown. Those are my positions within MGE. I'm the partner co-owner of Blumberg Digital. I'm also the chief operating officer of Blumberg Digital. Been a consultant for 32 years, 24 different countries, 100 different fields, specializing in sales, marketing, and executive training. That's my wife, Melissa. Been married 31 years now. That's my son, Boston, who's now 15. And that's all I'm going to say about myself because that's not why you're here. Currency, November 2024. What's changed? Well, the economy is looking up. Just look at the stock market. Look at what financial officials are saying. It is good news. Now, what does that mean? Holiday mode, kind of coincidental, is here. And that includes Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, and all the holidays that go along with it. So you need to know a couple of things with regards to that. Patients are now checking out. Even though they're not on leave yet, it's starting. Their mind goes on leave sometimes before their body goes on leave. So they're already in planning phase and such. That where does that put dental health? Well, kind of back burner. That said, we said last month and we said the month before, get your use it or lose it campaigns out right now. You haven't done so already, but even if you've done so already, make sure it's going out for November and get it out again in December. That should be going out in direct mail. That should be going out in your social media announcements. And I don't just mean a post. I mean, do a video on it, educating your patients, telling them what is the use it or lose it campaign and how does insurance work? Insurance can be a frustrating subject, as you all know. When it comes to the patient gets surprised. Wait a minute, I just had those benefits. I mean, I lost them in December. I lost them. And it's January, and I've reset my benefits, but I didn't use all my benefits. That's how that works. Make sure you're getting that message out. So I said by postcard, by social media, both post and video, get it out in an email campaign, get it out in a texting campaign. We had one of our clients do use it or lose it campaign. With our digital reactivation service, they brought in over $60,000 from that texting campaign just last month. If you want to find out more about the digital reactivation service, you can reach out to Michael at blumbergdigital.com. And Michael will tell you all about it. It's actually, I think, our least expensive service and has a massive ROI, return on investment. So get that message out to every single patient and do so. Should have done it in October, do it for November, and do it for December. Can I get a thumbs up on that one? But I love that all of you are here, and you all know that I have a very direct and special line with all of you. And I think those of you who are my friends and we talk, you know what I mean by that. This is a special time for us to kind of connect and talk about some things and get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to get into the nitty gritty, and there's a couple of things I'm going to talk about here, and that's this one. Plan on increasing your marketing efforts and your budget. Now, I just said at the very top, economy is looking up. Hey, Dan, if economy is looking up, shouldn't we just ride that wave? It seems like things are going, people a little bit more relaxed, they're spending, it's just in time for the holidays. Yeah, they're going to be spending on everything that is fun and exciting. Unfortunately, dentistry isn't that fun and exciting. Some parts of it can be, you're getting your new veneers, you're getting some whitening done, etc. But we all know that a lot of people don't consider dentistry that sexy when it comes to buying stuff. Should you make it your job to make it sexy? Well, if you can, I think it's more around health and doing the right thing long-term. So doing the right thing long-term, well, what does that mean? Well, healthy teeth and gums make people live longer by 7 to 10 years. Unhealthy teeth and gums will cause problems. We all know those problems. I will be touching on that again, but that is your message. You're talking about taking people out of an unnecessary predisposition to things like, chipping a tooth, cracking a tooth, losing a tooth, and then, of course, all the other things that we know that are connected to the studies, right? The studies say diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, birth defects, premature birth. These are big things. So you're talking to your patient, look at the person in front of you. I mean, nobody wants dementia. Nobody wants to be in a highly predisposed position to, fall into now being subject to a condition that includes dementia, diabetes, heart disease, etc. So this is your job. But from a marketing perspective, you're going to get those messages out, but you're also going to be just talking to them, top of mind awareness. Hey, don't forget about your cleaning. Make sure that you don't have more expensive and invasive dentistry needful at a later point in your life or even next year. So marketing efforts and increasing your marketing efforts, but there's another reason, because there's so many people out there advertising, so many dental offices out there advertising. Well, they're going to be doing so more. So guess what you got to do? You got to do more as well. Good. I'm going to talk about some specifics here in this webinar. I do want to mention Gold Marketing Platform clients. There was a mandatory order I gave you last month. Get through those November 2024 SEO scripts. Those are very key messages. They are the most searched terms in dentistry right now. A number of you did. Well done to these individuals. We had Dr. Brian DeMarco, Dr. Majid Jamali. We also had Dr. Lori Bagay, who's here with us. Well done, Dr. Bagay. We have Dr. Harpinder Shevchenko and Dimitri. Well done on getting that done. We had Dr. Michael Hardcastle. Got that done. Well done. Dr. Virginia Ellis, and you are here. Look at you right at the front of the class. Nice. Dr. Lyons, got that done. Also, Dr. Christopher Chan, well done, my friend. Dr. Turner, okay, folks, I just want to make this very, very clear. Dr. Turner became an MGE client, I don't know, about a year ago, came on board. She's doing about 70, 80, sometimes 100,000 a month. She just celebrated her highest ever month last month at $270,000 for the month. Well done, Dr. Turner. She took over, we took over marketing, I don't know, handful of months ago. She's killing it. Her new patients are in screaming affluence. Well done. Dr. Alex Matheson. Boy, Dr. Matheson, I just saw your post on social media. Did a great video on emergency dentistry. What's happening if you're feeling pain and sensitivity to cold, sensitivity to hot? That wasn't even in the November scripts, but he did that one too, and then did a little Instagram post on that, and then a call to action. Nice one. And then, of course, Dr. Jason Dulac. We had to grab your military photo, Dr. Dulac. I just love that one. Also finished the scripts. And then we got some folks that are right on the cusp of completing theirs. Dr. Andre Jones, Dr. Alberto Lopez, Dr. Dianayev, and Dr. Dwayne Bodie. So you four, I know you're close. Get that wrapped up. And this is just so important. This is an opportunity. Folks, let me just talk to you again. What is this? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. So the script is simply somebody is behind a camera asking you very common questions that you answer every single day, every single week. But these are important questions that people ask on Google. They are the most searched for terms on Google. You're answering these questions. Your answers come from your heart, come from your experience, come from your, wealth of educational knowledge, right? Hard-won educational knowledge. So you're just going to answer as you do with any patient who asks you those questions. You take 5, 8, 12 minutes to answer these very, very simple questions. Well, now all of a sudden, you've got a ton of words that we're going to take. We're going to get those videos transcribed on your marketing platform. We're going to code that transcription. We're going to build that into your website. Now, when people go searching for those terms, they find you. And then when they click on that, they have both your video and, of course, all your Text. Are they going to read your text? Yeah, some will. Most won't. Most are going to click on your video. And while clicking on your video and getting the answer to their question, they get to meet you. They get to meet you. And boy, that's important. Now, all of a sudden they go, well, I got the answer to my question, but I kind of like this doctor. And he or she is pretty cool and kind of casual and kick back and seems, I just learned a bunch of stuff, but seems like a nice person. I think I will go to this dentist. There are so many choices out there. How do you get top of mind as a choice, not just from a presence, but from a choice? Because lots of people are going to go, I search dentist near me. There's lots of different people to choose from, but they find that and they get to meet you virtually. Thumbs up if you understand what I'm talking about. Excellent. It works, and it works well. The other thing I'm going to take up with you, and I reiterated it last time, but use the guides. Use the guides that we've created. We created this one, Patient Guide to Oral Health. Again, it's an electronic guide. This electronic guide is, you just find the condition that you want to talk about, whether it's obesity, dementia, hypertension, kidney disease, stroke, cancer, poor oral health linked to liver cancer, to oral cancer, how we can prevent and detect oral cancer, adverse pregnancy outcomes, pregnancy complications, oral health and the common cold, the flu, and even COVID. Then, of course, all the usuals, general health and oral hygiene, oral health and overall health, longevity and oral health. That's like how long you will live longer if you have healthy teeth and gums. Systematic conditions, that include diabetes, heart disease, tooth loss and heart disease, endocarditis. That's a big search right now. Endocarditis, what is it? How is it, related to certain things? Respiratory infections, respiratory conditions, kidney disease. So I want you to use this guide. It has the links to the study. So you just go to the reflective page. Tooth loss and heart disease gives you a little bit of data about it. And then there's a link to the study if the patient wants to know. Send this out to your patients. It's a gift from us. All the things you need to know about diabetes, dementia, cancer, adverse pregnancy outcomes. So get that guide. It's our gift to you. We put a lot of time and effort into creating it. Just scan that, download it, and use it as much as you want, okay? That's yours to use in the office with the patient to educate them. It's yours to use sending it out and emailing it if you like to as an educational point. Well, the next thing we're going to talk about is marketing in general. Now, a lot of you know that we have a relatively recent addition onto the team of Blumberg Digital. And this individual is somebody I've known for so many years. I used to watch this individual. I used to go to his seminars. I used to be in the audience watching him. He started a company called survey.com. He is the founder of survey.com. I mean, just owning the domain survey.com, that alone is the value of most small businesses. But this individual went on to do a number of things, has been in marketing and public relations and such for many, many years. Also happens to be a top-class musician, literally toured with Tina Turner as the bassist, has played with a number of celebrities and is still a heavy gigger. He likes to get out there and play his bass, play guitar, sing. But more than anything, this individual is a friend, and he joined Blumberg Digital some months ago. And I wanted Mr. Michael Bach to come and talk to you a little bit about marketing. Michael has been working with so many MGE clients, both brand new to MGE at the New Patient Workshop and talking to them about marketing, as well as our very, very top clients. And he brought up something. I said, Michael, I want you to share that. So Mr. Michael Bach, are you here with us?
Yes, thank you, Dan. I'm glad you didn't get my age because that would have been unfair. How's everyone doing today? Everyone's doing good. Give me a thumbs up. I like Dan with the thumbs up. We're going to do a little bit of, you guys go to school, we're going to do a little bit of the Socratic method here. How about that? Who wants to do the Socratic method? I've got the chat up. I'm going to go back into antiquity for a minute and talk to you about marketing from the beginning, right? People, what was the first form of marketing? Mailer, that's good. I said first form, yeah. Town square, also a good form. Anybody else? Smoke signals, like that. Who said that? Billboard, word of mouth. These are fantastic. These are all good. All right. These are great, great things. The most basic form of advertising is words and symbols. Okay. I just moved here from a town called Albuquerque, New Mexico. We were founded in 1706, the oldest town in America. So let's imagine we are driving through this town and we come to town and the men want to go to a bar. What do the men need to go to that bar is simply the name saloon over the bar. See how simple that is? So simple, right? It's just a word. It's just a saloon. What if our horses need to have some work done on them? They've thrown some horseshoes. What are we looking for? We're looking for a guy with a horseshoe in front of his business establishment. That's the simplicity of where we came from. That makes sense? It was really simple. You simply announced yourself and your profession. You put up a word or a symbol, right? And people would find you. The world was pretty simple back then in Albuquerque in the early 1700s. A lot of what you guys said is absolutely true. Seminars, word of mouth, etc. But let's just imagine a few years later, there's an old guy named Gus, and he just likes to sit on the edge of town and welcome new people to town. Let's just imagine that Gus is the precursor to his progeny of many generations later called Google. But he is the father of Google. That makes sense? He's just a guy. He seems to know everything about everything. He welcomes people to town, and they go, "Hey, Gus, is there a hotel in town?" And he points them in that direction, right? Gus is simply there to give people great advice when they're looking for stuff. "Hey, Gus, there are 3 saloons in town. Which is the best to take the ladies? Which one has the least amount of fights?" So the amount of information that Gus must understand is pretty limited, right? Okay, good. Let's go to modern times and let's go forward hundreds of years. I'm going to ask you this question. What is the mission of Google? Give me your best shot. Their mission statement, and I was fortunate enough to be at some of these early meetings with Google. What do you think their mission statement is? Good, provide information, rank the most accurate ad. That's a good one. Anybody else? These are all great. Let me tell you what they have said from the beginning: to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That's a big concept, right? How do you organize so much information? You know how you do it? You do it just like Gus did it. You look for the information that's available, you parse it, you evaluate it, and you give out the most useful information. Let's take this into an even more simple explanation. A friend of mine recently was doing some business in New York. He knew I grew up in New York. He had a business problem, needed an attorney. Okay, I grew up in the time when half my classmates became attorney, half became doctors, and some of us rebels became musician and marketing guys. He called me, said, "Michael, I need a good attorney in New York. Can you help me?" I haven't lived there in 50 years, but I made one phone call to the best lawyer in New York I knew, based on his profession, based on his professional standing. He gave me a name, and my friend was blown away, right? So when Dan and I speak about these scripts, getting content out there, you're simply giving Google the opportunity to get to know you. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. That's all you're doing. You're introducing your information to the world so that Google will give you the best possible way to go. Okay, with that said, I don't want to take up too much time other than to say, I love speaking directly to dentists. When Dan approached me about coming here, I had one caveat. Dan will tell you, I want to talk to people all day because I love it. And those who have met with me, I enjoy you so much. I hope you've had a great time. All I'm going to do is find out what's going on with your marketing. I'm going to give you the best advice I can. And I want to encourage you to reach out to me. Now, I will tell you this week, I'm very busy. Everyone wants to see me this week. But before I go, Dan, I want to alert people to one thing our Google Ads team just told me about, just came my way. I want to share it immediately. Google right now is offering a special for those who are not currently doing Google Ads. You must be a new or relatively new client to Google. Who here is not running Google Ads who's thinking about doing it? Anybody not doing it who's thinking about it? Raise your hand. Okay, good. I see Dr. Ruddick's doing it. I see a few other people. What I want you to do, Britt has put my contact information into this. They are doing a very special offering that they very rarely do, that they will double your budget up to $3,000 if you spend $3,000. right? And when I say Google Ads, the reason Google doesn't typically do specials is because they're called Google Ads. You can't buy them from anybody else other than Google. If you want to do this, please do not look for my scheduling link, which might be available. You won't see any openings. Send me an email saying, I want Google Ads. Send it to me and I will reach out to you personally. Please include your name, your phone number, and a way to get a hold of you. Because Google, in their benevolence or their nefariousness, will often not tell you what they're doing. So it's running now. I don't know how long it will run. My team doesn't know. With that said, Dan, I'm going to turn it back to you. And I hope you guys have found this little tidbit a little bit interesting. And I look forward to speaking with all of you. Thanks, Dan. Back to you.
Awesome. I love that. Give Michael a hand, everybody. A little history lesson from the boss. Fantastic. So yeah, let's talk about this. So Google is one way. We all know, we all Google. There's some things coming. There's some things coming that are very, well, I don't know, they're interesting, also a little bit scary. And it's all connected to AI and some new search engines and stuff like that. So we're on the cutting edge of that. We're researching. We're going to be there for you when that hits. Just be ready because marketing is a changing landscape. It's always changing and you either change with it or you get left behind. Doesn't mean you won't do well because you all do great work. We know you. We've seen your great Google reviews and what patients have to say about you and your great testimonials, but you can't rely on that solely and only when it's such a competitive landscape, especially for those of you that are in an area that there are lots of other practices to choose from. Doesn't mean that, you know, you need to be as aggressive if you're sitting kind of as the sole and only dentist in a town and that's where everybody goes. Or maybe there's two practices in a town and you just don't need to be that aggressive. I would still be, you know, aggressive in the fact that we also see what's happening with corporate dentistry. Corporate dentistry is now moving into those regions and those areas. Those of you that are doing big cases, raise your hand if you do big cases. You do all on 4, all on X, full arch stuff. Okay, good. For you, we know there's a big swing of corporates moving into areas where that's going well. And there's a number of large corporates that are trying to move in and take over that business. So, you know, the second you need marketing, it's too late. You always do marketing when you don't kind of need it. That's the best time to start. You know, you got so much flow, you don't need it. Well, that's the best time to start marketing. When you need marketing, you are almost always too late, if not totally too late, because marketing always has a runway. There's a runway to get going with whatever marketing channels you choose. So this is the time to build your reputation, get yourself out there, get all sorts of things known about you, your doctor, your offerings, your community involvement. This is all part of marketing. And you might say, well, yeah, but Dan, you said in the past, that's PR and that's this. Yeah, that's right. I did. We're about to clear that up right now. So let's carry on with this presentation I put together. Let's go back to the simplicity of what Google is. You do a Google search, dentist near me here in Clearwater, Florida. This is what comes up for me. You get the paid ads up at the top, and those are verified. So that's paid ads, pay-per-click, PPC, paid Google ads, Google AdWords. That's all the same thing, different names for the same thing. So PPC is pay per click. I click on that doctor at the top is going to be paid. And just look at who's at the top. Clear Choice Dental Implant Center. So I could click that and it's probably going to cost Clear Choice about $33 for that. Well, Alan, you could tell me if I'm wrong in that because you probably know, especially if I'm doing an implant search, that might be up to $90 for that click. That doesn't mean I'm going to call them. Doesn't mean I'm going to walk in. It doesn't mean I'm going to set an appointment. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy anything. I'm just clicking pay per click. Does it work? It certainly does. Is it expensive? Yep. That's why it's so important that if you're interested in getting started with Google AdWords, this is a good time to do it because Google's giving money away. And like Michael said, you know, in their benevolence or their nefariousness, I love that. We don't know, and we don't know how long it's going to last, but jump on it. If you're considering, you got to be a new Google AdWords account. And if you've done it yourself in the past, and you know, we'll do a new account for you, but an existing account that's being managed and such, that doesn't qualify. Then beneath that, you have the normal paid ads. Then beneath that, you can have a paid Maps ad. And then beneath that, the green arrow, you have organic, local search and organic. So organic simply means not paid, not paid. That's all we're talking about. Well, how does it look with our clients doing Google Ads? Well, Dr. Priya Matthew, started in May, started reaching 99 contacts this last month. Dr. Christian Andrews in August started, already tripled his calls. Dr. Stetz just started in June, immediately took off. Now, sometimes it'll take off immediately. Sometimes it takes 2 months, 3 months. You got to buckle in. But if you're thinking about starting it, get on starting it now. Here's the offer, $3,000 in ads credit. That's not by us. We will obviously get that for you, but it's your Google ads that you have with Google, and we'll help you with that. So thumbs up if you're tracking so far. Good. Now we got a bunch of people here, some recent ads. Welcome to everybody who just came on board. But now let's move over. So Google is huge, but there's some people that click ads and there's some people that don't. Do me a favor, raise your hand if you're an ad ignorer. You just don't click ads. Raise your hand if you're an ad ignorer. Yep. Follow. Yeah, good. And then, well, that's a good one, Abby. How many of you kind of sometimes you're an ad, sometimes you click them. Raise your hand. Sometimes you click them. Yeah, good. And how many of you like to click the ads just because you like costing people money? No. Don't raise your hand, even if you do. Hopefully you don't do that. I don't click ads because I'm such a cheapie. I know what it costs, and I'll scroll down until I find that business organically. That's just who I am. But organic, there are some people just never click an ad, and there's reasons why and studies done, and you're not a good person or a bad person because you do or you don't. But I do want to talk to you about some amazing statistics concerning organic. People who avoid ads, let's just see what studies show. 53.3% of all web traffic comes from organic search compared to 27% from paid search. Why am I telling you this? Well, if you're not focusing on your organic search optimization, so SEO, okay, if you're not focusing on that, there is a massive potential loss. If you're not ranking up at the top, when somebody searched dentist near me, best dental implant, best dentist, most gentle dentist, compassionate dentist, if you're not coming up on those terms, best Invisalign dentist near me, if you're not coming up organically, you're losing out on a massive amount of traffic. SEO is search engine optimization. You have to be optimized, and it's not cheap to do it, and it's not quick. But the longer you wait to start, the longer it takes to kick in. Here's another stat. 70% of users click on organic search results, while only 30% click on paid search results. So there's your number. 70% will ignore ads completely. Here's another one. Organic search has a 14.6% conversion rate. That means a person will go through and become a customer, or in your case, a patient, compared to a 10% conversion rate for pay per click AdWords. Am I saying don't do PPC? Am I saying don't do Google AdWords? No, I'm definitely not. You're going to do both. But look at the conversion rate, look at the click rate. SEO drives 1,000% more traffic than organic social media. So you're waiting for your social channels to hit. Great. We're going to continue to work on your social channels. But people go to search engines when they're in a purchasing or shopping, or, they're looking for a new dentist. That's where they go. They don't start in your social media channels. I find this one to be quite interesting. The average click-through rate, CTR. Now, this is all about training and hatting. The average click-through rate for the first organic search result is 37.15% compared to 14.91% for the second result. What am I talking about? Well, let's say you do a search and you got good reviews and you're at the top. Position number one is going to get 37.15% of all search traffic for that. Position two is going to get 14.91%. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, say there's 1,000 searches. Position one's going to get 371 visits to their website. Position two is going to get 146. That's one position away from position number one. One position away. And it's less than half the traffic. Wow. So how important is organic? Very. Google processes over 99,000 search queries per second. What? Roughly 2 trillion searches per year. That's just crazy. SEO is seen as the most profitable channel by 49% of marketers, and the average first page result contains 1,447 words, indicating the importance of detailed content for SEO. Now, what is this? What is this? Well, we've been telling you, you got to have great content on your website. We've been telling you to do these scripts that we send out, these interview scripts. Well, it's because you got to have a lot of content. I don't know about you, but I'm not good to just come and sit down and start typing away. Oh, I want to do an article on, search engine optimization. I start writing that. It'll take me 6 hours to do 2,000 words. I've done it. I've tried it. But guess what? You ask me a question and I can answer that question pretty fast. And I talk at about 300 words a minute. Most people talk somewhere between 200 and 350 words a minute. I talk at about 300 words a minute. So somebody asks me a question, I can answer that question and I will speak at about 300 words a minute. If you ask me enough questions for about 8 minutes times 300 words a minute, that's 2,400 words. Job done. Problem solved. How do you get great, organic, original, authoritative content? Well, ask me the right questions, get me talking, and then run that through our marketing platform. Job done. Our marketing platform, what we do is then we edit that video, but then we take and we transcribe that, and then we optimize it. We code it for your website so that Google can read it from behind. Yeah, so Google's got it and indexes it. And then, of course, we give you all the things to talk about, all the right things to talk about. So, I know there's a little bit of nervousness initially getting in front of a camera and you're talking into a camera. I had it, believe it or not, I had it. I've been public speaking for years. I had to go through it on looking into a lens, a camera lens. It's a little bit nervy, but I can tell you, folks, raise your hand if you kind of had to go through that and you got through it. Raise your hand if you had to go through it and you got through it. Yeah. And I've worked, I see Abby, I see you, and there's Dr. Srini. I've seen you guys on video. I've seen Dr. Perry on video. I've seen Dr. Srini on video, I don't know what it was like in the beginning, but I see you now. It looks great. But it doesn't even have to look great because the people looking are looking for real people. The people searching are looking for real dentists. They're looking for real people that are relatable people that might have flaws and they might stumble now and again. Now we do our best to edit out the stumbles and stuff, but I don't want you to worry about stumbling or going on or having filler words where you say, So I want you to just think about the simplicity here. I don't like to sit down and have to write an article. 2,000, 3,000, 1,500 words. I think, raise your hand if you're like me. You don't have the patience, time, or know-how to sit down and write. Yeah. So that's kind of all of us. So think with this, very simple. Okay, good. So there's some questions here. What happens with Google Ads if we once start and then stop or pause? Does it hurt our Google presence? It does affect, this is from Britt, it does affect your Google Ads campaigns as it can allow other bidders to strengthen their positions and can restart the machine learning phase of the optimizations. Pausing Google Ads should not strongly affect your website and SEO, though Google Ads and SEO and all marketing efforts dovetail. Hope that helps. Great answer, Britt. There's another question that came in from Abby Hughes. Why would another office show before yours if it is not from an ad? They don't have as much content on their page and they don't have as many reviews as your office. Abby, such a great question. First of all, when you go searching your dentist near me from your computer, just so you know, you're not going to get an accurate reflection. So whatever you see of first, second, third, fourth, that's not accurate. You need a tool that's going to tell you for real what it is, because Google knows that it's you searching. They know where you go. Google knows a lot about you. It's scary. But from an advertising perspective, that's good. Google might know that you go to that office every day and they might say, well, listen, we want to give you some other thoughts because we know you go there all the time. So you need our SEO tool. You can subscribe to the SEO tool that we have. That SEO tool we pay, close to $10,000 a year for, so that we can really look into the back end of your website and see where you actually rank for individual search terms such as dentist near me, Invisalign dentist in my area, cosmetic dentist, veneers, implants. We can do an analysis and we'll give you an accurate reflection of where you actually stand on each of those key search terms. You just need to let us know what search terms you want to rank for. And we'll tell you, we've got a tool that we can show you. We do a full analysis on that. It's a good question, but don't trust that. But then let's say there is another dentist that's ranking above you and they have less reviews, they have less content, they have a dated site. There's 226 factors that go into SEO, search engine optimization. 226 factors. Your reviews are 4 of those. What's your total number of reviews? What's your review rating? How frequently are you adding reviews, and are you answering your reviews? That's 4 of them, 4 of the 226. How long have you been around? Longevity of that domain. How long has your domain been registered for your website? That's a biggie because that tells Google that you're not a fly-by-night operation, that it's not a scam site. There's a bunch of things. And then there are things called backlinks and a lot of detailed things that we have in our advanced premium SEO offering that we can talk about. But that's what we analyze against. I know we're in the weeds, folks. Some of you, your eyes are rolling back in your head, and I get it. But you came to a Blumberg Digital webinar to learn. So thumbs up if you at least can appreciate that there's a technology to this.
Hey, Dan.
Doesn't mean you're going to be tested on. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Dan. All right. So this is a very common question I get asked all the time. And I have told everybody, I will walk you through this. Okay. Set an appointment with me. Dan is making it. He's nerding out a little bit on us. Guys, just get in touch. Tell me you want to get a little understanding of how well you're doing on SEO. How could you improve? Answer these questions. I will walk you through it. Okay. It is a very complicated subject, but I try to make it simple. And the people I've taken this through, I tell them this is a relatively painless procedure. Okay. But it is something we have to do together. And I'm here to help you with that. Okay, Dan, I'm just trying to let people know that I'm here for them if they need that. Just reach out, send me an email, and we will schedule an appointment. Okay?
Yeah, folks, just so you know, thank you, Michael. And it is a deep technical subject, but it's not as technical as crown and bridge and dentistry and such. That's why we're here. We're here to make this complicated subject simple for you, so you don't need to do that. But ask the questions and know some of these key stats. And I'm going to go through a couple more of them here with you because these are important things. Again, the average first page result contains 1,447 words or more, indicating the importance of detailed content for SEO. Now, here's another stat. Around 33.6% of US internet users use ad blockers. What's an ad blocker? Ad blocker means they're never going to see a Google ad. They're never going to see a pop-up. They're never going to see anything that has an ad. That's a huge number. That's a third of people here in the United States. And that can make, of course, paid ads less effective. Am I telling you don't do Google ads? No, I'm telling you do Google ads because Google ads work. But realize you are missing very minimally that 33.6% of people. SEO is a cost-effective marketing strategy providing long-term benefits and sustainable traffic compared to the often high cost of PPC campaigns. Pages ranking in the first position have 3.8 times more backlinks than those in positions 2 through 20. So these pages that are ranking up there in the first position have 3.8 times more backlinks than those in positions 2 through 20 on Google. Now, what's a backlink? Well, a backlink, just think about it like this. You have everything you say about yourself, but then some other website mentions you. Well, Google views that as kind of like a boat. Google views that as like, okay, good. There's another website out there that's mentioning this website. Oh, let's upvote. Now, if that website is a trash site that's only to create these backlinks, which Google can see in a second, then that has no value. But if it's a proper, reputable site that ranks well with Google, Google goes, that website over there, that's a pretty high ranking website, just mention this website over here. So we're going to upvote this. That's called a backlink. It links back to your website. Now, in our premium SEO offering, we're getting you 4 high-level backlinks every month. And we even front-loaded in the first month or two of you coming on board with premium SEO. Google then starts to see over time, wait a minute, this website's getting viewed. Well, what is our team doing? Our team is going out to these very high-ranking health blogs and such and saying, hey, this is our client over here, Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith does the following things about dentistry. Could you mention our doctor? And the website goes, okay, well, let's see what you got going on here. Yeah, it's not a scam site. It's not a phishing site. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll do it. That'll be a $400 writing fee, please. $350 writing fee, please. So they're going to write an article. It's a one-time fee. We pay the money out. And we do that and we get that backlink. Gives you power, gives you strength. And we do that 4 times. Do the math on that. Do the math on that. So if we're doing that 4 times a month for you, and that's our cost, and how much you paying your current provider for SEO, $500 a month, $800 a month. One thing you know they're not doing is that. Again, SEO, Michael will walk you through and take you through everything, but you got to understand that with SEO, there's a thing called backlinking, and it's a massive factor of ranking well in search engine optimization. Good. So SEO leads, somebody who comes from search engine or organic leads, have a 14.6% close rate, while outbound leads, such as direct mail or print advertising, have a 1.7% close rate. Organic is huge. How many of you actually use Google for searching to make purchases? Raise your hand if you use Google to shop around and get your answers. Yeah. Said everybody. So SEO is a cost-effective marketing strategy. It's not cheap, but it's super cost-effective, providing long-term benefits and sustainable traffic compared to the often high cost of PPC campaigns. So if you want Michael's help, email him. Just say, hey, Michael, I want my SEO analyzed. Just scan that. That's going to immediately create an email for you. Just fill out that information so he knows who you are, what office, and what your website is. Do not send that out without, and Michael, we'll probably get a number of people requesting this. So we'll call on some of our team to help us with these analyses to get that done. So Michael, does that sound good?
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone, this schedule this week for me is very busy. Doesn't mean I can't see you. It just means if you go on my schedule link, you're not going to see any open appointments. That's because I did leave myself, with Dan's permission, that I could have lunch and walk my dog a couple of times for 10 minutes. But I can eat another time, and my dog is really good. So if you need to talk to me quickly, email me. If I see this, I'll email you back right away. But we got to get an appointment. And everything Dan spoke about, I will analyze for you. Do you have backlinks? How strong are they? And I'm going to echo one thing Dan said. A lot of people say, I have an SEO vendor, and we go in, and some of those links are coming from Kazakhstan or Australia or Eastern Europe, right? These do not have the same power as what I described with my cousin in New York, right? It's the power of the recommendation that Google is looking at. How much does that website know, and how relevant is it to your searcher? So I'll explain all this to you one-on-one. Dan, back to you again.
Good. And then, just to kind of round this out, I want to let you know how we've simplified this. We use our marketing platform where we give you these scripts. The scripts are questions, the most common questions. Doctor, you just got to answer them on video. It doesn't even need to be great. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, I really hate that one, we'll remove the video and we'll just create a text, document out of it and put that into your website. But I'm going to encourage you to not be too concerned about how you look and how you sound. People are still going to probably put the video on and listen to you while they're multitasking. And it's a good way for them to get to meet you. You don't need to be a marketing expert. Just talk about what you know best, which is dentistry. We'll guide you with questions and simple cues that can help patients find you and feel connected to you before they even make their first call. That's the marketing platform. That's gold. And remember, everybody who hasn't done your November scripts, get them done. If you want more information about the Gold platform and getting those scripts and how to do it, we'll give you some information. That's a QR code you can scan to talk to Michael about the Gold platform and how to do those scripts. Very, very simple. Now, I'm going to move on to the next part because we're already an hour in and I've only got a half an hour left. This next part is kind of the big punch. So I hope you can all stay with me. Raise your hand if you can stay with me. I'm going to do my best to cover as fast as I can. Again, new patient marketing is getting you found. People then reach out to your website and then they call you. That's marketing. Marketing makes the phone ring. What's my new release for you? I got a new guide. It's called The Art of Dental Marketing, an elephant's guide to success. I'm just waiting to see everybody's reaction. What the hell does an elephant have to do with marketing? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here we go. Marketing a dental practice can feel like a juggling act, but with the right framework, it's as straightforward as promoting a circus. Each component of marketing plays a role in drawing attention, engaging with your community, and building lasting patient relationships. Let's walk through these key components with our trusty elephant example and see how they apply in the world of dentistry. Now, you may have heard of the circus example before, and if not, here it is. So Here's the elephant and circus example. Follow me on this one. Advertising, putting up a sign about the circus. Promotion, walking an elephant into town with the sign on its back. Publicity, the elephant steps into the mayor's flower bed, landing a story in the local news. Public relations, the mayor laughs and joins the fun. Sales, explaining the elements of the circus. Entertainment, answering questions, selling tickets. Marketing, orchestrating the entire spectacle from start to finish. That's marketing. Thumbs up if you understand the different components. Good. Now raise your hand if you have a question about any of these components or put it in the chat. This is important to understand because this is marketing. Marketing isn't just one thing. Marketing isn't just Google Ads. Marketing isn't just your social media post. Marketing isn't just your SEO. Marketing isn't just a mention about you in the public paper, about your great community involvement. Those are each subcategories of the overall subject called marketing. How does this work for dentistry? Well, let's talk about dental implants. Let's take this example. Now, each of the things I talk about in each of these subcategories obviously apply to every other example. And these channels are not specific to dental implants or Invisalign or general dentistry. But let's take dental implants. Google Ads focusing on life-changing transformation with implants is the advertising. Promotion would be, or could be, free informational seminars about dental implants featuring patient testimonials. Publicity would be social media posts, even a local newspaper story on how your implants restored a patient's ability to eat and speak confidently. Public relations would be hosting a Q&A session at community centers to demystify the implant process. Sales, of course, detailed consultation discussing the benefits, process, and cost of implants. And marketing is integrating all these steps into a comprehensive campaign that builds trust and drives patient inquiries. Thumbs up if you understand that sequence. Excellent. Beautiful. Here's the next one. Let's take Invisalign. Okay, an example of advertising, social media ads showing stunning before and after Invisalign results. Promotion, free consultations and discounts for new Invisalign patients. Publicity, a feature in a lifestyle magazine about a local influencer's Invisalign journey at your practice. Public relations, hosting live demonstrations of how Invisalign works at local schools and fairs. Sales, personalized treatment plans created during patient consultations. Marketing, a coordinated campaign that educates potential patients on the ease and benefits of Invisalign. Thumbs up if you understand that example. Good. And of course, all these advertising, promotional, publicity, public relations, sales, and marketing, all these different things can apply to each of these different subjects I'm giving. I'm just giving you examples here of how each is separate from the other and how it all comes under marketing. Teeth whitening, advertising, targeted email campaigns, highlighting special offers for teeth whitening. Promotion, partnering with local beauty salons to offer whitening promotions. That's a great idea. Publicity, a beauty blogger writes about their positive experience with your whitening service. Public relations, participating in health and beauty expos, offering on-the-spot consultations. Sales, offering take-home whitening kits and explaining the process during appointments. And of course, in-office whitening could be included in that as well. Marketing is combining these efforts to make your practice the go-to for achieving a bright smile. And then lastly, for general dentistry, advertising, print ads in local newspaper about the importance of regular dental checkups. Promotion, free first exams for new patients, or a back-to-school dental checkup campaign. Publicity, a story in the local news about how your practice helped a patient through a health crisis. Public relations, organizing workshops in schools on the importance of oral hygiene. Get lots of video on that one. Sales, sending personalized follow-up reminders for routine checkups. Marketing, building a strategy that emphasizes your role in maintaining overall health through dental care. Folks, does this help to have these broken down, these different subcategories and subjects? Thumbs up if that helps. Great. Now, what I did is I created a guide. I defined all these things with every example I just gave you, as well as additional examples, as well as defining each of these subcategories and helping you with some direction and ideas and checklists and things you can do. All you need to do is scan that QR code, put in your info, and we're going to email all that to you. So if you want that, Go ahead and scan that. We're going to make this available. Again, these webinars are all about you learning more about the subject of marketing and making this very, very simple for you. Over time, you becoming more authoritative and more in control of your marketing, resulting in more new patients, resulting in higher production, higher collections, bigger bonuses, et cetera, et cetera. Good. Any questions for me on any of this? Because I'm about to now go into the next thing, which I think is it's kind of important. It's a review of some of the basics, but I want to make sure you are all thinking about it. Any other questions that you have for me before we end off this webinar? This is a time to ask, hey, Dan, based on everything you just covered, can you answer this question? If it's, general enough that it's applicable to everybody, I'm going to take it up. This is kind of like our live Q&A forum here. So put your questions in the chat. Glad you're enjoying, Tracy. You can also, if it's too much to type, just go ahead and open up your microphone and ask me a question.
I guess not.
Oh, there you go. What you got?
Okay. All right. Let's chat. So, all right. I'm like a small general dental practice, and I want to go gun ho. Obviously I've been struggling, whatever excuses. I really want to make this happen. What do you recommend we do? Like, I know you're saying do the scripts, do the social media. Now that you're talking about the Google ads, it's scary to spend all that money because, I have with a Google ads, I've spent money on Google ads, like thousands, like 2,000 a month, 2,500, 2,000.
Yeah.
It was not working. So I'm willing to do it with you guys because you guys really seem to know your numbers and know what you're talking about. But what else, like if we really want to make this happen and really want to get the results, what would your advice be to invest? I'm going to invest. I'm interested in investing, providing that we get the results. And I know that we have to do our share. So what is it? What's your recommendation to maximize the results to get patients calling the phone?
Well, it's a fantastic question, Doctor. And thank you for asking that. I applaud your courage and your ambition. That is the correct viewpoint. And I'm going to be as straightforward as I can to answer this for everybody here. It is going to be different from client to client based off of your circumstances, your surrounding. What have you done in the past? What haven't you done? So great, get with Michael. Michael, get you started. I think Google Ads is a great next step for you, knowing you. This is, of course, one of the fastest ways to get a result. There is, of course, a dial-in period, and that could be a month, 2 months, or 3 months. We always tell people, expect about 90 days for a burn-in period. In that time, we love to see people get results, and we often see people get results. But don't hold your breath and sit there staring at the phone. There is a time where Google's learning you, our team is learning you, our team is learning your market. So just stick with it. Google budget, when you said this, I spent tons of money, $2,000, just so you know, you probably underspent on your budget. And I want to make this very clear to everybody here, an expectancy. Google budget and ad cost, let's go back to 2019. I would say doubled, if not tripled, as far as costs. Why? I don't know. It's Google. So take advantage of the Google Ads budget that they're going to give you up to $3,000. Jump all over that. Take that time to dial it in and really get it. But here's what it takes. Even if you're spending $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 a month, that's just money going straight to Google. It has nothing to do with what we're doing in our marketing, our costs, right? Our fee to you as a management fee. The money that goes straight to Google, well, I want you to think with this. One $10,000 case, $12,000 case, $3,000 case, three $1,000 cases, 5 $1,000 cases. You got to just make sure you're tracking your return on investment. And where we're seeing our clients, sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know that I'm getting the results. Great. Are you keeping your call log? No, I'm not. Okay, go. Let's populate your call log. Great. So you got these many calls. Okay, what happened to John Smith? Oh, he never came. Okay, that happens. What happened to Bill Turner? Oh, he came in. Okay, and what happened from that? Oh, we presented an $8,600 case, but that never actually took place. So yeah, we presented an $8,600 case, but he only paid us $2,500. Well, okay, we just got $2,500 there. Okay, not bad. But once we see them populated through it, generally, it's quite interesting how this now shows that these ads are working and you get better and better over time. This is the most important thing you need to think with marketing. 1, choose a channel. 2, get that channel dialed in properly. 3, appropriate the necessary resources. And that's not just budget. That's time. That's training your team. That's you watching and tracking the ROI. 4, take that ROI, that return on investment. Make sure that it's properly documented. But now, if you're seeing great results, increase that budget, right? Enjoy the fruits of it, but also increase your budget. It's working. Next thing, now you've got a channel dialed in. Let's add another marketing channel. Good, we got Google Ads in. Great, we see some things. Good, let's add another channel, and let's add another channel, and let's add another channel. If you have the time and resources, you can go ahead and add 2 or 3 channels at once. But ideally, you understand that takes finances, that takes a team. So you have a new patient coordinator, things are rolling. And all of this is in and around the idea that over time, you're going to have multiple channels. Then all of a sudden, of your 7 marketing channels, 2 or 3 of them aren't kicking for last month. Okay, well, we've got 5 others that are. Let's manipulate these 2 that aren't working and get them working. Oh, now they are working, but we lost 2 other channels the next month. Great. But you see, you're not dependent on any one single channel anymore. What are the different channels? Always start with internal. Your existing patients are your best resource. We love our referred patients the most, right? Second, something that's fast to get people back in. Well, we always suggest digital reactivation. And doctor, I think you're doing digital reactivation. And that gets people you haven't seen in 8 months or longer, sometimes 5-7 years. Get them back in, lowest hanging fruit. Then we move into like Google Ads. Ideally, if you can, stomach it, add SEO and the marketing platform. The marketing platform, of course, is upgrading your website, putting all the website elements there necessary while getting these scripts done so people can meet you all the way through to the later channels. And later channels, well, that's you being featured in news, radio, TV. That's way down the line. But you became a documented authority about how you are the best dental choice in your area. That's a really long answer for your very short question. I hope I've answered it. So doctor, thank you for your great question.
Any other questions while we wait for Dan to come back on?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who's got a question?
We talked about the reviews being very personal, replies for reviews being very personal. However, for the HIPAA reasons, we couldn't really be personal in level. And when we tried to think about the HIPAA, it became very general. How do we do?
Okay. That's a great question. Thanks, Dr. Park. I remember our meeting well. Yeah, there's a couple of things. What we want you to do, and we do not want you to violate HIPAA. That's not at all what I was suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that you personally acknowledge the interaction in the office. Thanks, Pam, for coming by today. It was great seeing you, right? We appreciate the fact that you mentioned something in the review. Let them know. The main purpose of what I was talking about is that I want these people who take the time to respond and give you these reviews, I want them to know that you looked at it, understood it, and appreciate it. That's what I meant. And if that was unclear, Dr. Park, that's on me, but that's what I meant. We do not want you to get deeply into their case, deeply into that whether they were in pain. We just want you to read it, understand it, give them a really good acknowledgement that shows that. And then, does that answer your question, Dr. Park?
Yes.
Okay, great. But I am going to say something about reviews, because one thing that I'm seeing a lot of is some of you, and please raise your hand, who here is using AI to answer their reviews? That's okay if you are. Anybody? No one's going to say right now. Hold on. What are you saying, Kathleen? I can't hear you.
Not anymore since we had our meeting, but yes, I used to rely heavily on it, but not anymore.
Okay.
Now every time, if I like even hover near the button, I'm like, Michael's gonna yell at me.
Right. Now you're making me sound very mean, but I'm not very mean. I'm actually quite benevolent, to use my own word, and caring. I have noticed that some practices feel that this process is overwhelming, and people are starting to just put the review into Google or a chat or something like ChatGPT. And what I'm advising is at least write the first draft. Write the first draft, put in those personal things. Kathleen is laughing, right? But create the first draft yourself and let an AI just clean it up and clean up your grammar and maybe some syntax, right? We want the personality of your practice to come through in your answers. Dr. Salvatore has a very fun practice if you've seen their Google Business Profile. They have a lot of great enjoyment there. That should come through. So that was what I meant. And again, I appreciate Kathleen saying that. Any other questions?
Dan has also rejoined us. So welcome back, Dan.
Oh,
and
there
also,
he is.
Just a comment for Dr. Ellis or anyone else interested in Google Ads. I dropped a link to a guide from Dan where we analyze the top mistakes with paid online ads. And from that, the action items that you should be taking to make sure that you're set up to win with paid online ads. So throwing that in there. Over to you, Dan.
Great. Well, I don't know what happened and I don't know where I left off. I was just talking away and then all of a sudden I realized nobody was moving. So good. Any other points or questions? Great. Well, yeah, go ahead. What you got? Grace.
In the beginning, you mentioned to have separate phone number for direct mail so we can track how effective it is. So is it the different phone number than our main office number? And that would make it two different numbers.
Great question. Grace, what we have in what's called tracking numbers, they're marketing tracking numbers. You would have a tracking number for your postcard. You'd have a tracking number for your Google Ads campaign. You'd have a tracking number for your referral card, right? Your Care Enough to Share card. You'd have a different number for every campaign you do. You go and do a health fair, you're going to do a different tracking number on that. Many of you have services like Weave and Addit where they have an option to have multiple tracking numbers. Each of those tracking numbers forward to your main line. So while you have 7 phone numbers, they all forward in milliseconds to your main phone number. Your main phone number gets the call and you answer the phone call. But at the end of the day, end of the week, end of the month, you can see what number is getting how many phone calls. And if it's a good tracking system, if it's a good tracking number, it also has call recording. Now, for those of you on our marketing platform, you have 3 tracking numbers and all of them are recorded. You can, of course, add as many as you like. But the main thing you want to do is you want to see at the end of the day, week, or month, how did that marketing campaign do? It's not a perfect science, right? Because somebody might end up getting that number from a friend and therefore it's technically a referral, but that's the number they shared. Okay, it's not a perfect science, but it gives you an idea of what campaigns are bringing what results. Does that make sense, Grace?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent question. Thank you. Good. Any other questions?
Hey, Dan, the thing you were talking about with the videos, I want to just give one more view here. One of the most basic books on marketing that I was taught to read was Sun Tzu's The Art of War, okay? And Dan knows this book well. I think we've discussed it. In The Art of War, yep. Sun Tzu introduces the concept of turning weaknesses to strengths, okay? Refers to the strategic principle of avoiding the enemy's strong points and instead attacking their vulnerabilities. We can never win against corporates head-to-head in marketing. They have more money. They have more
budget perspective. Yes.
From a budget perspective, right. Yes. But you know what they don't have? Ask someone who goes to a corporate practice, what's the name of their dentist? And do they have a relationship with them? And they will say, I have no idea who I'm meeting with. I have no relationship with my dentist. Now, most of you run family practices. Some of you have multiples. Therefore, that's their weak underbelly, is they have no relationship. This is why we want your personality coming through your websites. We want your picture on the front page. We want your family. We want you guys out there because this supposed strength of a corporate presence is very vulnerable to a dentist who you can call, who knows you, treats your family, treated your mother, treats your kids, treats your friends. And that is Sun Tzu's lesson of the day in this webinar.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And it's so true. And I think a lot of you do absolutely maximize on those qualities that you have that a corporate and even another practice, it's not an MGE client, they're less organized. They're good people. They're just less organized. And it's not a smooth flow. Sometimes there's a bad apple in that group. Whereas we've, as a group of both Blumberg Digital clients and MGE clients, we've learned how to have a true dream team. You might not be there yet, but you're getting there. So Those things are massive, massive assets that you have that others don't have. And then, of course, the question when it comes to the question that Dr. Ellis asked about marketing before a corporate office has acquired a dental practice in your neighborhood. Well, I don't want you to be in a fear state, but I want you to just go, okay, good. This is the time to hit it. Get out there, hire that new patient coordinator, get someone on post that can actually do the job and be present where you, probably Dr. Ellis, you office managers, all of you are very, very busy. Great, doing the right things, but don't miss this opportunity. Blanket your area to become the family dentist to go to. And listen, a lot of you have massive offerings, so you can also be the cosmetic dentist and the full arch dentist for your area. I've seen it with a number of you. A number of you have done such a great job. Continue. For a lot of you that want to do that, well, you just keep on keeping on. We are at a point here where I think we're at a wrap. It was so great seeing you all. I want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving, a great holiday season, and we will see you in the next Blumberg Digital webinar. That will be for December. We'll make it early enough. We won't freak out like we did this one, but we will see you back here in December. Thanks for coming. See you at the next one.